Hello and welcome back once again to the Wrestling Group. I am your host as always, Ryan, and today we are going to be taking a look at the AEW Dynamite on 34th Street, which takes place tomorrow night. So this is going to be on Christmas Eve. We have an episode of Dynamite, a special episode of Dynamite. We are continuing, obviously, the Continental Classic. We're well underway now in the Continental Classic tournament. And then on Christmas night, we will have Christmas Collision. Now, I believe that has been taped. I more than likely will do a predictions video for that as well, because I've not seen anything at all about it. Because I don't think they're doing live on Christmas Day. But yeah, so we have 2 nights of massive AEW action, and I can't wait to get absolutely stuck into it. This is just what makes our Christmas better, is the best wrestling in the world. 2 nights back to back. I can't wait. So obviously, it's a special start time. So in the UK, I think it's 12 o'clock instead of 1 o'clock in the morning. So technically, when this airs, it will be Christmas Day, Christmas morning for us. I probably will watch on Christmas Day with the family, because we enjoy watching, obviously, AEW together. But it won't be at midnight. It will be at some point in the afternoon, probably, maybe while we're having our Christmas dinner. That might be the way to do it. A mouthful of Christmas turkey while watching the Continental Classic on Dynamite. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches, is it? 6? MJF is going to be in action, doesn't have an opponent announced. But we have 3 Continental Classic matches, 1 in the Gold League, 2 in the Blue. And then we have the Dynamite Diamond Ring final, and we have a women's match. And we have a face-to-face interview as well between the AEW Women's Champion Chris Statlander and her opponent for World's End, which is Jamie Hayter. So it's a very, very action-packed night on Dynamite. So we'll start with MJF in action. So MJF is returned to the ring after a couple of months being away. You know, we've seen him obviously pick up the opportunity to face the AEW World Champion, which he's cashed that in now. He signed the contract, so obviously the idea was that Tony Khan said that he'd have to announce a week in advance when he would want to get his opportunity at the AEW World Championship. We know now that's going to be at World's End, so it's going to be a fatal 4-way. So it's going to be the AEW World Champion Samoa Joe, who will be taking on Swerve Strickland, Hangman Adam Page, and of course MJF, all former world champions as well, who Samoa Joe is going to be defending it against. They're all former world champs. So MJF is in action. It'd be great to see him back in the ring. We've not seen him for a couple of months. He's been off filming. I don't expect it to be against anyone big. I just expect him, to be honest with you, to just face maybe a mid-carder and pick up an easy victory. I think it's just the way to get people excited to see MJF in the world title match. But yeah, I'll always watch an MJF match. No problems with that there. But yeah, the opponent is announced, but I fully expect MJF to pick up the victory. So next we'll look at the Dynamite Diamond Ring final. So that's interesting because MJF is the only holder in history of the AEW Dynamite Diamond Ring for 6 years in a row. And he's not actually going to be involved this time. So if I remember right, normally it's the Battle Royal and then the winner then faces MJF for the ring. But they're not even talking of MJF in the Dynamite Diamond Ring, even though when he returned last week, he had the ring on. They're not even talking about him to do with the Diamond Ring at the minute. So, do you know what? I'm happy with that. For the simple fact is, we've had it for 6 years. It's been a great part of MJF, but it's time, we push on and move on with that. To be honest, he's probably had it a bit longer than what I was ever expecting him to. But he's done well with it. It's made it a deciding factor in a lot of matches over the years. So, to be honest with saying that, that's why I've decided I'm going to go with Ricochet for this. I feel like the Diamond Ring is perfect for a heel. They can use it like Ricochet's like that cowardly heel, isn't he? Like what MJF was. And so Ricochet using the ring to gain leverage to win matches and stuff, you can see that if a face wins it, like if Bandito wins it, I don't see anything other than the fact they'll wear it for a couple of months and then it'll just sort of disappear. It won't be like an ongoing thing, will it? So I think for me, Ricochet needs to pick up the victory for the Dynamite ring to continue to actually mean something and to play a part in any matches going forward. It needs to be a heel, and Ricochet's literally the same type of heel as MJF's been, which has been like a cowardly heel. He's needed to cheat to win, so I feel like Ricochet is the perfect person to win it next. So we'll look at the only women's match that's been announced on the card. It's Mina Shirakawa, and she'll be taking on the Death Riders, Marina Shafir. So obviously these have got history. Over the last few months, they've been doing the AEW Women's Tag Team Championships, and both of them were in the tournament. Obviously, Mina Shirakawa has been teamed with Times Tony Storm, and Marina Shafir was teamed with Megan Bayne. These have been back and forth. We've seen them in multi-man matches, women matches, sorry. We've seen them in like the first ever women's blood and guts match. They were obviously in opposing teams. So it'll be interesting to see them in a singles match. I don't think they've ever faced in a singles match, not that I can think of anyway. But I'd expect Marina Shafir to pick up the victory. She's a really, really dominating force in AEW at the minute, and I expect, to be honest, for her to hold some type of AEW or Ring of Honor championships over the next year. I expect 2026 to be a really, really big year for Marina Shafir. There's quite a few women's championships. She performs on both Ring of Honor and AEW, so she could easily end up picking up. There's the Ring of Honor Women's World Championships. There's the Ring of Honor Women's Pure Championship, which has obviously only just become a thing, but Deonna Purrazzo is currently holding that. And then there's the Ring of Honor Women's Television Championship as well. And then obviously over on AEW, you've got the tag belts, you've got TBS, and you've got AEW World. And so, to be honest with you, I expect Marina Shafir to pick up the victory and to continue this, obviously, storyline in the women's tag division especially, and for Marina Shafir eventually to push on and pick up some gold in 2026. It's not like, say, we have 3 AEW Continental Classic matches that take place tonight. We have the IWGP Heavyweight Champion Konosuke Takeshita. He'll be, defending the title. He's not. He'll be facing Orange Cassidy. So they are obviously going 1-on-1 in the Continental Classic. So, do you know what? I thought this tournament was going to be just a way to set up Takeshita in the card. And to be honest with you, I still feel like that's what the outcome is going to be at the end. But I don't feel like it's as clear cut as what I was expecting it to be. We've seen some really shocking matches and some shocking upsets. And it was like just last week we had Kevin Knight defeated Kazuchika Okada. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like now going into any match that literally anyone can pick up a victory at any point. That we're at that stage now where, like, I wouldn't rule out Orange Cassidy picking up the victory against Takeshita, even though looking at it originally, I went, yeah, Takeshita should be winning that. You know what I mean? Because now, like, obviously, last week I said Okada's going to be Kevin Knight. I said Speedball wouldn't have beat Carl Fletcher. I'd obviously picked Carl Fletcher over Speedball. So, like, we've seen quite a few upsets already. I even picked Jon Moxley over Claudio. So at this point, I think any of the matches are 50-50. But I am going to stick with the IWGP World Champion Takeshita. I feel like Takeshita picks up the victory and starts to put himself ahead of the Blue League. So I'm going to say Takeshita defeats Orange Cassidy. So then next we'll look at the other Blue League match, and it's Roderick Strong, who's still yet to pick up a victory at all. And he'll be facing against Masquerade, who, again, when we talk about shock victories, he picked up a shocking victory against Claudio Castagnoli a week after Claudio defeated Jon Moxley. Not a lot of people are expecting that. Masquerade has had a brilliant showing in this tournament. He's had a great year, to be fair, this year in both CMLL and in AEW. This tournament has been like it's coming out in AEW, really. But Roderick Strong, he's a great tactician. He's a really good technical wrestler. He's, former champion in his own right. And to be honest with you, it's about time Roddy had a win. So I'm going to say Roderick Strong picks up the victory against Masquerade. I'm going to say I don't feel like anyone's going to finish the tournament on 0 points. So I think Roddy's the only one left on 0 points, isn't he? So I'm going to say Roderick Strong picks up the victory and finally gets a couple of points on the board. So talking of picking up a victory, Jungle Jack Perry only just picked up his first victory last week, and he'll be facing against the Bastard Pack, and this is in the Gold League. We've seen, obviously, like I say, Jack Perry has come in to replace Darby Allin, who Darby lost again. Maybe another shocking match where Kevin Knight defeated Darby Allin. A lot of people maybe didn't expect that. And he'll be facing against Pac, who's come back and looked in immense shape towards the end of 2025. And Pac's won. He won his last 2 matches. Pretty sure he won his last 2 matches. But you know what? I'm going to go with Jack Perry for this. I'm going to think he's going to play on his momentum. Although I am worried because he keeps going back to that ankle. He's clearly got a problem with his ankle so far in this tournament. And I feel like someone like Pac could easily expose an injured body part and work on it, especially now with his bigger physique than what he did have. He used to have a physique similar to Jack Perry's, but now he's more similar to Batista than to Jack Perry. But anything can happen in these matches. You could do a roll up and pick up the victory. So I'm going to say Jack Perry is riding on his momentum off his victory from last week and defeats the Bastard Pack as well. So is that it? I just realised that's it for all the matches. I thought it was another match for some reason. No, done all the matches. So there you have it. That is my predictions for AEW Dynamite on 84th Street. Be sure to check out the next video I'll be doing tomorrow, which is going to be the AEW Christmas Collision predictions video. So as always, thank you for watching. Please have a Merry Christmas. And don't forget, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the wrestling group today.